Hey guys, I had a friend of mine who was trying to access this Chalene Johnson video on what is a coach, and she couldn't access it. So I said, all right, I'll make a video for you. So here I am. I want to talk to you a little bit first about my why I'm a coach before I get into what is a coach. And some of you know this, but I was a 10-year-old little girl with an eating disorder who at the age of 35 had to save my own life. And I eventually did it with Beachbody as a tool. And here's kind of how. In a nutshell, I had been years on Depo-Provera, and I didn't know exactly until that time exactly, what it was doing to me. And so, and I had also moved to the Midwest, and I was fairly unhappy. There were a lot of things going on, and so depression kind of set in. My eating disorder was back in full effect again, and I was basically like living to die at that point. And so I had to make a decision at 35 of whether or not I was going to live or die. And because of my kids, my husband, and deeply down I wanted to live, I made the decision to live. So I went on a journey, and my journey took me to a personal trainer, which is where a lot of people go, and back to the gym, which is, that's what we know. We know to do that. So I went and I got a gym membership, and I went and I got a personal trainer, and I had a nutritionist. And I, was doing that, and that was okay, but they weren't really fitting my needs. I couldn't find anybody who was my age, who had 3 kids, who was in my demographic, and so it was hard for me because there were things that they didn't understand about what I was going through that I really needed them to understand, and so I just didn't feel a connection. So I had a friend of mine, Dominic Sirocco, hey Dominic, who introduced me to Insanity, and I was like, Insanity, that's insane, that's crazy, why would you do Insanity? And he was like, no, it's great, I can do it, when I travel, I can do it in the hotel room, I can do it everywhere, it's really awesome, you should check it out. Well, I went online, and I looked up Insanity, and then I looked up Beachbody because it popped up, and I was like, I'm not feeling the Insanity right now, which is funny because I'm an Insanity instructor now, but at the time I was like, I'm just not feeling it. So I found another program that Beachbody provides called TurboFire, and TurboFire is run by Chalene Johnson, who's like this little blonde, and she's really bubbly, and she was in her late 30s at the time, and she had kids, and oh my God, she was like right in my demographic. So I was like, all right, well, I'll try it, I'll get it and I'll try it. So I got it, and I spent way too much money because I didn't know what a coach was. In fact, my previous experience with Beachbody was a P90X bootleg copy from my sister without providing anything with it. I did Kempo like 3 times, and then I didn't do it anymore. So needless to say, I started TurboFire, and I had Shakeology and Activate vitamins and a jump mat, and I bought the whole caboodle. And like I said, I spent way more money than I actually needed to spend at the time, but that's okay. It is what it is. So I was doing it, and I was loving it, and I tried to reach out. It said something about, here's your Beachbody coach. And I was like, okay. So I emailed them, and nobody answered. And then I emailed again, and nobody answered. And so I was like, okay. And so some other guy contacted me. So I switched coaches, and this guy was great, but it was like an email a day. He was a guy, and I just wasn't feeling it. And not that a guy couldn't help, but just wasn't feeling the connection. So then out of nowhere, my current coach, Nye, hey Nye, she texted me or emailed me and said, hey, what are you doing? And just kind of chatted with me a little bit. And she was like, you're doing TurboFire, I noticed. That's really great. We actually have a challenge group going on right now. And I was like, what's a challenge group? And she was like, like Weight Watchers. It's kind of like a group. It's on Facebook. It's a private group. And I was like, yeah, I'm not really interested in switching coaches a whole bunch of times. It feels kind of salesy to me. So, all right, I'll try it. She was like, just try it. It's fine. So she puts me in her challenge group, and lo and behold, there's this whole group of women who are in my demographic doing exactly what I'm doing. We're all doing TurboFire together. We're talking about nutrition. We're talking about we're helping each other. Team Beachbody message boards were awesome because if I had a question about nutrition, I could go and I could find an actual nutritionist who gave me solid information. I could go and learn information from the actual trainers and sports scientists that were telling us how to modify things, how to do things right, how to change the program to make it fit our needs, what we were doing, not just how we were doing it, but what we were doing it. and what HIIT was, high intensive interval training, what stretching, the importance of stretching in yoga, the importance of doing resistance training and lifting. Because back in my 20s when I was a sports model, it was like I wasn't really doing a whole lot of, I was in sports and I was doing stuff, but I was like lifting a lot of pink weights and running on the treadmill, and it was really cute and all that, but I should have been lifting weights, and I didn't know that. We didn't know that back in those days. So needless to say, I was learning all this information that was not only making me feel awesome and helping me lose weight and helping me feel better about myself and moving the neurotransmitters in my brain and the serotonin and doing all those good things that were helping me with my depression and my eating disorder, replacing that with healthy eating and with a support group and everything, that I learned so much that I just kept going with it. And I bought another program, and I kept hearing about this Shakeology, and I was like, what's that? I don't like shakes. It's just, they're gross. But they were like, no, just try it. It's really good. So I did. I had a bag of it that I had bought, so I went ahead and I tried it. And 2 years later, my triglycerides had gone from high to low, and my doctor was even amazed and wanted Shakeology. So, there you go. It was it was not just the doing, but the seeing, the scientific, reality behind the thing. And I learned so much that I wanted to learn more. So I went and I got my personal training certification at the age of 40. At the age of 40, I got my insanity certification. Now I work full time as a Beachbody coach, life coach, and generally feel like a freaking badass. And I'm 42 years old, and I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'm continuing my journey, and I still have things that I want to change and goals I want to reach, but that's basically it. And so why I'm a coach? Well, because this worked for me. Is it going to work for everybody? No, of course not. Nothing works for everybody. There is no one size fits all. There's no magic therapy goggles. However, I know this has worked for me, and I know it can work for you. And the 3 key components that I have found that are different from anything else out there that is revolutionizing the fitness industry is the fact that, 1, I can do the workouts and know that they're solid science. I can look it up and see that it's solid science behind all of the workouts. I know that what I'm doing works. 2, I've got nutrition planning and nutritionists behind it. So again, solid science. It's just plug and play. It's really simple. It's healthy eating. It's no fancy stuff. Shakeology itself is a completely healthy list of vitamins and nutrients and probiotics and prebiotics and phytonutrients and all kinds of stuff that is really, really good for you. And I know that I'm getting a nutritious meal, even if I do have days where I'm still kind of reverting back to some restrictive behaviors, which I really don't do that anymore. I don't need to. In fact, I have to fuel my body in order to do the hardcore workouts that I do, and the support. Having these people who have become friends of mine over time, and there's just all these people that I love working out with them. I love talking to them. I love hanging out with them. We travel together. We do things together. We're making money together. And the money is secondary. I don't sell stuff. That's the most important thing about this, is that I don't sell things. I provide results because I had results that were provided to me and I know it works. And as a mental health counselor, I was constantly looking for ways to improve people's physical fitness and nutrition, because I knew that that was the key to turning around a lot of their mental health issues too, mind, body. So anyway, that's why I'm a coach. And what we do is we put together challenge groups that will help keep you accountable. We meet with you one-on-one if necessary. We talk to you. We hook you up with resources. We help you look for things. If I don't know the answer to something, I find someone who does, or I find the answers to it. I find you help. I match the program to fit you. I individualize it. So that's basically essentially it. That's why I went from, doing what I was doing before and being very successful at it, to doing this now and feeling very successful. That's the difference. So love to have you on the team. If you want to know more, PM me, let me know. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.